Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on the story of Baby Soulja, the Florida rapper that killed a man and has since been released. Baby Soulja, the 27-year-old rapper who's become more known for violence than music, went viral in 2019 after being arrested for firing a missile into a home. A Vlad TV post would detail the rapper's arrest, stating according to reports, he was showing off a new grenade launcher to friends when he fired a missile at an unoccupied building. Arrested and released on bond, it would only take another 6 months for the rapper to find himself back in a cell, this time charged with murder. This is the story of Baby Soulja.
Baby Soulja! Baby Soulja!
Born in Jacksonville, Florida, Charles Doles, aka Baby Soulja, grew up in one of Florida's deadliest cities that currently holds the title as Florida's murder capital. Due to multiple arrests as a juvenile, he'd moved to Atlanta at 16 years old, the same age he'd lose his father to health issues. This was also around the same time he'd stopped posting music to YouTube, with his oldest video dating back to 2010. His videos would continue to catch a buzz as he'd be reposted to sites like WorldStar while visiting back and forth between Atlanta and Jacksonville. By 18, he'd relocate to Miami, but that wouldn't stop him from visiting Jacksonville and essentially remaining in the streets he grew up in. In 2017, Baby Soulja would catch his biggest break when he linked up with Southern rap legend Boosie Badass on his song Dirty, the video now having over 6.6 million views. At that point, Baby Soulja kicked the door into the industry, getting features with other popular Florida rappers such as Kodak Black and the City Girls. What started his videos inside of his house rapping about his life story would progress into music videos consistently hitting over 1 million views, but his success story was about to take a major turn. March 10th, 2019, Vlad TV would post an article with the title that captured everyone's attention. Baby Soulja arrested for battery and allegedly firing a missile into a dwelling. The article would read the Florida rapper was arrested in Palm Beach for allegedly firing a missile into an abandoned building after showing off a grenade launcher to his friends, and the fucked up part is, before anyone fact checked it, the internet just ran with it. But come to find out, the arrest report details a totally different story. March 1st, 2019, Palm Beach County sheriffs were dispatched to 22nd Street in Belle Glade, Florida for an aggravated domestic battery. The 911 caller made contact with police stating 45 minutes prior, his niece was attacked by her baby's father, Charles Doles, aka Baby Soulja. Speaking with the victim, she alleged her and Baby Soulja had ended their 2-year relationship, and he grabbed her by the throat with both hands, choking her. In response, she grabbed his neck brace he'd been wearing from a car accident only days before that caused rumors to circulate online that he actually died. He released his grip on her neck and she ran to a car when Baby Soulja picked up a rock, throwing it at the driver's side window. Scratches on her neck and forearm from Baby Soulja's nails caused her to bleed and were observed by sheriffs who located and arrested Baby Soulja on battery by strangulation and throwing a deadly missile, which might sound like Baby Soulja is some kind of Jacksonville terrorist, but in all actuality, the charge itself is as simple as throwing a rock that has the potential of being deadly, and the charge covers a broad list of things like dwellings, buildings, or vehicles pertaining to whatever you hit. So while all he allegedly did was choke his baby mama and throw a rock at her friend's car, Vlad TV now had Baby Soulja's name ringing as a Florida rapper with an RPG blowing up houses. Bonding out on both charges, it would only be months before Baby Soulja was back in the news. In May of 2019, Baby Soulja was booked and set to perform at a club named Island Breeze in Savannah, Georgia. While at the event, problems began to escalate with a 33-year-old man named Dorian Brooks, who come to find out was a South Carolina rapper that went by the name Mr. Carolina Gamecock. At one point or another, it's alleged Mr. Carolina threw a drink in Baby Soulja's face on stage, and security had to defuse the situation, while Mr. Carolina continued to make threats on Baby Soulja's life, allegedly telling his own friends to strap up. Police would send Mr. Carolina to his vehicle while telling Baby Soulja to leave the event. According to witnesses who later provided information to police, Mr. Carolina was a 33-year-old man who was known to not be able to handle his liquor and control himself when drunk. He made a video call through Facebook expressing to a friend someone had tried him at the club, and he was following their vehicle, as he stated he wasn't gonna let him try him like that. Before the call dropped, Mr. Carolina told the witness, "This bitch ass pulling over, and I'm pulling over right behind them." At that time, the call was ended. It was 2:50 in the morning when police responded to Interstate 16 and MLK Boulevard, where they found Mr. Carolina shot to death on the side of the road. A police investigation would lead to multiple witnesses describing the events leading up to the shooting, and all signs were pointing towards Baby Soulja as being the shooter. 4 months later, Baby Soulja was arrested in New York by the New York-New Jersey Regional Task Force and eventually extradited to Georgia, where he was officially charged with felony murder, voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, and 3 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. 4 other men would also be indicted in the case on charges of eluding law enforcement, hiding a vehicle, hiding evidence, and lying to detectives. Baby Soulja would spend the next 30 months in a Georgia jail before reaching a conclusion in his murder case. On March 11, 2022, Baby Soulja pled guilty to manslaughter, and as part of his plea, all other charges including felony murder were dropped. He was sentenced to 2 years and 5 months in the county jail, which was the amount of time he'd already served and would count as time served. So on that day, an order of release from custody was granted. But this doesn't mean Baby Soulja beat a murder case. This means Baby Soulja accepted responsibility for shooting a 33-year-old drunk man to death who was obviously the aggressor and vocalized his intent to harm Baby Soulja. Released from jail, Baby Soulja is now on probation for the next 12 years and 7 months, having his probation transferred to his home state of Florida. While the state technically has him by the balls for the next 12 years, the comeback can be greater than the setback, with Baby Soulja now having the potential to be greater than ever and push his trial and tribulations through his music. Only God knows what the future holds, and only time will tell what Baby Soulja's next moves will be, as a new video posted to Instagram shows the rapper stepping off a private plane with a smile on his face. Now this is unlike a lot of murder cases involving rappers. Normally, they're either guilty and get sentenced to forever, or they beat the case entirely. But this man pled guilty to manslaughter, meaning he killed him. And he can tell people, I killed him. You know what I'm saying? It's already done. He's already sentenced to it. He accepted responsibility for shooting the man. But when you think about the case, the guy didn't know him prior to what happened, threw a drink in his face, was making violent comments, and then followed him after the event onto the highway, the interstate, whatever. Apparently they pulled over. Whatever happened. Dude got shot and he got found on the side of the road. Now I'm honestly surprised this wasn't some type of self-defense, but at the same time, not all the details were available. I was only able to read the paperwork that was released by Baby Soulja himself. But at the end of the day, to be convicted of manslaughter and only having to serve less than 3 years, getting the rest on probation, I mean, he got off, to be honest. Manslaughter, normally you're looking at about 10 years in prison. So anything less than that, you're doing time on the street. Even though he got 12 and a half years or 2 months over 12 and a half, I think he got 7 months with it on probation, he still has the ability to push his music. He can be successful with that, and hopefully he doesn't find himself back in the system, because most likely a simple violation will result in him having to do that same amount of probation time in a prison. But like I said, we'll see what happens, and only he knows what's gonna happen next. It's 1090J. I'm rocking with Charlie, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.